Greetings everyone, this is Fortimus Prime Films coming to you with a Transformers review. And today we will be reviewing the Transformers War for Cybertron Kingdom K26 Deluxe Class Autobot Tracks. Yeah, I know it's a handful, but you can just call it Transformers Kingdom Tracks, and with that you can find it. So before we go into the review, I want to share the scaling system that we will be using for this review. We'll be using a scale from 0 to 10 in which we will be reviewing the vehicle design, transformation, the robot design, articulation, and fun. So without further ado, let's watch The Awakening to watch this figure in action in a professional stop-motion short film. Hope you enjoy! So now that we're back from The Awakening and we saw Tracks in action, we can talk about the specs. So the line of this figure is the Transformers Generations, War for Cybertron, Kingdom. The War for Cybertron series has 3 lines, Siege, Earthrise, and Kingdom, and this is the final one, which is Kingdom. The manufacturer's suggested retail price is $22.99. You can find it on Hasbro Pulse for that. And on eBay it is from $19.99 all the way to $35.99. So the prices range on eBay, and you can find them used or new, but those are the price ranges in which you can find it. And this is a deluxe class figure, so it's a kind of a small figure, but it's really nice. So let's take a look at the packaging. On the front we have this beautiful art of Autobot Tracks in his vehicle mode as well on his robot mode. We can see the actual toy on this little window that you can see right here. It's kind of small and it does annoy me a little bit in comparison to those from years prior like Siege and Earthrise, in which we could actually see the entire figure. But that's gonna be a video for another day. But you can see Autobot Tracks in there, and we can take a look at the words. Below it says Transformers Kingdom War for Cybertron Trilogy. On the top we have Autobot Tracks, and just above that we can see the Cybertronian letters for Autobot Tracks. So you can kind of like decode the letters for the Cybertronian alphabet, and you can basically translate anything from the show to the packages. You can find these letters everywhere on these new lines. On the side we have the Transformers text. It says 8 and up, and this is something worth noting. It says Hasbro and Takara Tomy. Takara Tomy has been more involved lately with the Masterpiece figures, and they're getting involved with these figures. No wonder they come out so well. On the sides we can see we have this Autobot Tracks art. It doesn't look entirely realistic to the toy, but below it says Deluxe Class in many languages, and just below that we can see in Cybertronian letters it says War for Cybertron. On the other side we have the Kingdom artwork, and it looks really nice. On the back it says it transforms in 21 steps. And guess what? This toy actually has 2.5 modes. It has a robot mode, a vehicle mode, and a flying car mode. Yeah, that's kind of weird that cars could fly in 1984 in people's imaginations, and we're rolling into 2022 and they still don't fly. So yeah, that's fun. But regardless, we have 2.5 modes, so that is nice, that is awesome. So on the top we can see we have the Transformers War for Cybertron Trilogy, a nice Autobot logo there, and War for Cybertron K26. That is kind of like the code name, but it's really just War for Cybertron Kingdom 26. So this is the figure number 26. We can see that this package has this little flap on the back, which you can use to open, and it's really used for storing these figures back into the packages, which is really something that I recommend because it keeps them looking neat, keeps dust away, and it's easy for storage. So that is a very nice touch. So inside, this is what we get. We have the instruction booklet, which contains all of the 21 steps to transform Autobot tracks. That is awesome. Always keep these around for reference purposes. We also have the paperwork, which includes some choking hazards. So yeah, that's, unless you're a 3-year-old using this, it's not gonna really bother you. So yeah. We also get inside this cardboard tray this little card. And these seem to be a little random. This one got Black Arachnia, and it has this little sticker that you can peel off. And it says Cybertronian letters in there. And because I have the Cybertronian decoded, over here it says ascends to leader of the Predacons. So that, yeah, I'm not gonna spoil anything for you, but yeah, that's something there. It's okay. It's not an actual specified card for the figure. It would have been nice to have a tracks card in this figure, but it's a nice touch. Here we have this cardboard tray, which is some very cheap cardboard. It even scratches the figures because my 2 Kingdom figures came scratched. Autobot tracks came scratched. Sideswipe came scratched. Even Maximo Skywarp came scratched. So yeah, this is not a very nice packaging system, and it makes it really hard for storing them. And right below there it says Autobot in Cybertronian text. So yeah, now let's take a look at the figure. Tracks, you can come out now. So first, let's review the vehicle mode. Tracks, transform. So here's the vehicle mode for Autobot Tracks. It's really good in my opinion. It rolls really nicely, and that is something that I always love in these vehicle modes, because there are some figures like Wheeljack that just don't roll as well, but this one actually rolls really well, and it holds up together very nicely, like nothing falls apart or pops open. I mean, there have been a few reports of some figures that these front sections tend to pop. My copy doesn't happen, but at times it has to do with the transformation and how well it is transformed, so yeah, that's a little bit annoying. So it's great in its vehicle form. And guess what? The fun feature, which is the 2.5 mode, and it is the flying car. We still don't have flying cars in 2022, but hey, we can imagine flying cars and have them flying around. But anyways, it looks really nice. It has those nice wings, and it's actually pretty accurate to the show. So we can see the weapon storage, it's back here. It looks kind of weird, there's no point in having these guns pointing at the windshield. So yeah, that's more like storage more than anything. To me, this seems to be trying to imitate a Corvette from 1980s or something. The thing is, it looks realistic. I'm not much of a car person myself, but it looks realistic to the actual show. The windshielding is great, except on the back because it's half painted. They painted a bit of the windshielding in there, but that's actually for a very weird reason, which is the head is down there. So yeah, you really wouldn't want to see a head on the back of a car, like you actually stole something. So yeah, that's not nice. But at least they tried to hide it. I would have preferred that they just put some paneling below so that we could actually see a windshield instead of it being painted, but it's okay, it works for now. The flame looks good, it looks like it appeared on the show. It doesn't look like the toy that actually had that outline of yellow. No lights are painted, so that's a bit of a bummer for some people. It doesn't annoy me much, but it could annoy some people. It's all blue, it's almost too blue, but oh well. The wheels can be a little bit inconsistent because one is held with a mushroom peg and another with a tab, but that's just me nitpicking, trying to find something negative to give out about the vehicle form. But overall, it looks great! It's a really solid vehicle form, and it has a fun feature, the flying car mode. So it's not that bad actually. The vehicle mode is great, and I enjoy it a lot. It holds up nicely, rolls without scratching, and it has the flying feature, so I say that's a win. So now let's go into the transformation. So first you want to fold these wings back if you have them open. Twist the arms, fold them down, and shove them into the car. There you have it in his normal car mode. Pop out the weapons if you have them on. Pop out the hands and swing them out. Twist the wrists. And this is a little bit of a tricky part right here because you actually have to do a little bit of strength and it makes a pop. Next, you take it up and you twist it around. Next, you untap the legs. You fold out these little panels, fold the feet to be 90 degrees. And this is where it gets a little confusing You actually have to fold the feet first 90 degrees to this way, and then you can stretch out the legs, then fold the rest of the feet. Put the panels back, twist the entire figure, pull out this windshield. It actually has a nice button on the back which you can use to push it out. Then connect it to the waist, fold down the windshield on the backpack, fold the backpack down, pull out the arms, connect the weapons if you want to, and there we have Autobot Trax in his robot mode. I mean, the transformation is okay. It's not a Transformers Generation Perceptor, which was horrific to transform and never actually transformed well, but the legs just seem a little too complex for what they're supposed to be. Like, you first have to fold them 90 degrees and then you can fold it out. I mean, I'm sure it could have been a little bit simpler. But it's okay, it's a fun transformation. So yeah, it's not too bad, the transformation. The transformation is not that bad at all. So now let's go into the robot mode. And honestly, it is okay. The robot mode is good. It's not the best of the line. It's not the most perfect robot mode, but it's not too bad. He looks very realistic to the show. He has the wings, the chest is even painted, the arms are painted, and the feet look like the show. The bad is that he has this huge backpack on the back, which would annoy some people. It doesn't annoy me that much, but I'm sure they could have done something better than that. And the worst thing are the legs. Like, the pegging system here, mine doesn't unpeg that much, but that is a bit annoying. They really should have made that peg a little longer so that it could actually snap into place, even if you had to force it a little bit. And the feet just look weird, like they're just floating in there. I mean, from certain angles it doesn't annoy so much, but and the other thing that annoys me is the plate that he has right here in between his legs. Like, these plates are so annoying. Why do they keep doing this? Like, we have modern designs for this. We can take a look at Blue Streak and even Earthrise Optimus, and we have this new design that makes it look so much better. But here we have this plate. And let's not forget about the head. The head looks amazing. That is something that I do have to give some credit for, because the blue, the red, and the white contrast so well. So yeah, he looks pretty realistic to the show from that aspect. So now let's take a look at the articulation. The head, he can look right and left. He can look a little bit up and just a little bit down. It's not very articulative there. At least he can move the head. The arms, we can rotate them 360 to this joint we have here. They can fold out and they tend to take the wing with it, but you can fold out the wing. You can move the wing how you need. The wrists can rotate. You have about 90 degrees on the elbow, and due to transformation, the hand can move this way. You can turn the whole figure on the waist. We have good articulation there. The legs can go pretty far forward and pretty far back. We also have a rotation in the leg. The leg can go about 90 degrees and just a little bit forward too due to transformation. And we have a ball joint on the feet which can go forward, backward, and even rotate to the side. And this is something that I so love about these new figures. This little swivel they have here is fantastic for posing. As for the accessories, this is all we get. 2 weapons. It's nice. We have a weapon. There are some figures that don't have a weapon at all. So that is great. So my overall score for this figure. The vehicle design, I give it an 8. Because the vehicle is so cool and it's so much fun to use. I mean, he doesn't have too many details, but that is okay. It's what it is, especially for a deluxe range. The transformation, I give a 7. Because it's a little complex where it isn't supposed to be, and I'm sure they could have made some more ingenuitive design for the transformation for it to be a lot more fun and easier. The protoform design, or the robot mode, I give it a 7 out of 10 because it's very realistic to the show. This is a very realistic Trax, and we don't have many Trax released throughout the ages, but this actually looks pretty good for what it is. Could have been better on the legs and on the design, but it's okay. The articulation, I give it a 6 because it's very articulated, but the whole problem with the feet just ruins it for many people, so I give it a 6 out of 10. And the overall fun, which is how fun it is to use and just play around with it, I give it an 8 out of 10. Because regardless of all those little details, it's still a toy that is fun to use. It's simple to transform and it's fun to roll around. You can even have a flying car, which you can even take anywhere and just play and pretend with it. It has some very good articulation, some nice weapons which you can use for playing around. So yeah, it's actually a very fun figure to use. So the total average of this figure is a solid 7.2 out of 10. If you're a collector and just love the details and are expecting masterpiece level, just don't expect that from this. This is a deluxe class. This was never supposed to be a masterpiece level. But if you're okay with maybe some imperfections here and there, or maybe it's just a gift that somebody wants to give you, by all means, get him. He's fun, he looks great with all the Autobots on the lineup. For stop motion animation, it can be a little bit clumsy because of that problem with the legs right there, but that also depends a lot on the copies and the whole quality controls. But it's really good. So yeah, that is my review for Autobot Trax. Thank you so much for watching. So Trax, you may transform and roll out. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day and God bless you.